phone, please. Okay, are we live? We're live. We are live.
Yay!
2 people are watching. Welcome to Kat's
Here
Home.
we go. Thank you.
Chat number. A great, fabulous number. This is Kat's Home Chat Live. We do this every Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We've had the recipients of folks from Italy and other countries. So we always say the Central Standard Time. And I'm super excited this week. If you'll notice, we're using a different format. We had a lot of issues with Zoom connecting with Facebook. So cross your fingers. The StreamYard works really well. I already like it because I can see my guest right next to me. I want to introduce, this is a fabulous segment. And I want to tell you right now, even if you're a man and not a woman, you want to get this information for your wife. So if you have ever had a question how to naturally gain back your energy and stamina to be your most amazing self, you want to watch this segment and or share it, because Nicole Giddens, my wonderful, lovely, beautiful guest today, has been a holistic practitioner for over 10 years.
20 years.
As well.
Been since 2000. Since 2000. It's been over 20
more
years.
More than 10 years. For a long time. She's an expert. And she is also a coach and trainer over at Spenga in the Woodlands, which I'm going to be trying out a class this Sunday. I'm super excited because they integrate yoga, which I'm a big fan of. So without further ado,
out what we do over there.
What's that?
I said it's the best way to work out what we do over there by far.
I am excited. Amazing. So Nicole, let our viewers know if I've missed anything that you want to share about your background, and then let's go into that first question on how to gain back stamina and energy.
Well, I've always been into fitness. I've done fitness competitions all in my 20s. You know, fitness has always been a part of my life. Holistic health is kind of just instilled in me. I'm a true believer in it. I've seen it heal where they were wanting me to take my daughter to a rheumatoid specialist for an autoimmune disorder. And I healed her with essential oils and herbs and a flower essence. You know, we did her blood panel product after that, and, you know, she was fine, where they were going to put her on some kind of pharmaceutical drug. And when I had brought all those holistic regimens to the doctor that day, he said, well, we can't say that it'll, you know, hurt her, but we're not going to tell you it's going to help her either. And when I saw how remarkably beneficial it was for her and how she made a complete 180, I knew right then that I was just in the right place. You know, I'd already been ingesting it and studied it and researched it and knew I felt good. But when I saw her completely heal something that a doctor wanted her to take some very evasive medication for, I knew, man, that this stuff is, God gave us everything we need. The earth gave us everything we need. As I turned 40, I'll be 45 this year, you know, things just started feeling a little icky. Carrying myself around like a bobblehead. I just didn't have the energy anymore. I was depositing that adipose tissue around my midriff. And I went to my GP first, and we did the blood panel product, and he said, you're fine. And the other thing that I was having problems with was urination, like 5 times an hour. So I was so dehydrated. And I said, no, I'm really not fine. So I found this anti-aging practitioner, and his blood panel product is a lot more intricate. He tests 3 more panels more in each category than the general practitioner does. And he found all kinds of things wrong with me. So he put me on, my estrogens were way too high. They were carcinogenic in my blood. My testosterone was non-existent, was why I didn't have any energy and why I kept depositing all this fat, even though I was eating so healthy. The permeable wall of my cell was so thick, it showed signs of insulin resistance in my blood. And that's why I was eating spinach salads and feeling like I went to McDonald's, no energy after I ate. So he put me on metformin. And I just want to educate women that it's so vitally important that we think outside the box and really get our hormones tested in a more elaborate form, because general medicine will not tell us what we really need. General medicine will say, well, you're 40. You're supposed to feel like poop now. No, I don't want to feel like that,
No.
you know? And there's all types of natural things you can do. There's an estrodim that I do that gets all the bad estrogens out of my body. That's so vitally, vitally important for me because I have breast cancer on both sides of my family. So that helps prevent that from happening. And it helps my uneasiness, and then it helps level my testosterone back up. Of course, the metformin, which is an amazing medication for my insulin resistance, helps me absorb nutrients again. I do an ashwagandha milk thistle blend, and that helps my fight or flight mechanisms for my nervous system. I love that blend.
So Nicole, I'm going to stop you right here because you're putting out so much good information. And I know we have a little bit shorter segment because you have to go on to go coaching at Spango, but we are going to fly this into YouTube afterwards with information, and I will get with you and get the name of the health practitioner if you're willing to share that with folks who may be interested.
Yeah, Edge Weight Loss and Fatigue, Robert Pinard. He's off of Stubner Airline. And I regret more and more as I tell everyone, Robert Pinard, Pinnard. I regret more and more as I tell more people about him because then I have to wait longer every time I go in there.
I've been in your position. Like, I don't know if I want to share that.
No, it's amazing. He's amazing.
Now,
he's an amazing doctor.
Or is this something
it's all out of pocket, but it's not astronomical.
Outrageous.
It's $150 for your blood panel. And then for my shots that he prescribed for me, I go in once a week and he gives me intramuscular shots. He even stopped my frequent urination. It's just amazing. Yes. He's like, oh, I got something for that. I couldn't believe it.
So tell me about the intramuscular, because I have a daughter who has they haven't been able to identify it. They call it nervous bladder or something. I pee a lot too because I try to drink a lot, because the past 2 times I've had physicals, they've told me that I'm dehydrated. And I did
that's what was happening to me.
I did some research on that, and I was drinking like crazy. But when you get to be when you're blessed to be a particular age, and I'm a bit older than you, what happens is the cellular walls do not assimilate the water. So I found, even like in my company, it's like I got heat exhausted very quickly that I didn't 5 years ago. And so I'm wondering if that's what he's giving you. Does that help the cellular walls to engage in the water?
Yes, it just helps kidney function, overall kidney function. And that's what activates your urination. So it's amazing. He's got something for everything. I mean, he's absolutely amazing.
I love the whole holistic aspect of it.
The other thing that I swear by, that I haven't had Botox, and trust me, I'm an advocate of Botox. I was for a long, long time. I haven't had Botox in a year. And I'm taking this Somaderm. It's like a peptide. It's a transdermal HGH activator. And I put it on the thin layers of my skin and my forearms. I sleep better. My digestion's better. My collagen production is increasing because I'm not noticing that I got to go back for more Botox. My arms, like, the flab part of your arms that you get, that Hello 40 flab,
you don't have that, honey, by the way.
It's gone. But I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it. I was washing my hands the other day. No, but let me tell you something. There's something about the elasticity of the skin as we're on that conveyor belts of life. There's absolutely nothing we can do about some things, right? We just have to embrace every process and just be thankful and grateful that we're still alive and we're wiser, right? But I can't believe it. This stuff is tightening my skin.
Wow.
And it's not just about the exterior. Interiorly wise, I feel fantastic because I'm getting better sleep. I have more energy. I teach 3 classes in a row at Spango, which is a spin, strength, and yoga. Bam, bam, bam. And I feel like I can teach one more right afterwards. I mean, I take very good care of myself, obviously. But
so how long have you been doing this
like the fountain of youth.
How long have you been doing this regime, Nicole? How long?
For Robert Pinard, I've been going to him for about 3 years. I noticed a difference in the way I felt, and it took about 6 weeks. For the HGH gel, I think it's because I was implementing so many healthy regimens, and my inflammation was already down because I kept my blood alkaline and everything I do. I drink alkaline water, all the vitamins that I take. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, all that good stuff. I think that's why I felt the Somaderm effects right away, because I've only been on this stuff for a month, and I've noticed all of that. It's amazing.
So I'm where you're at. I've been, I'm going to date myself, but Jane Fonda workout days. That's when I started my, healthy regime. I still remember her leotard. Here's the fact is that and this is not to throw out traditional medicine, because we need it for diagnostic for many things. It's fabulous. But they have about a minute, in literally about 10 days of holistic natural nutritional training. And this is why, they will fall back to, well, let's find out what's wrong with you and give you some medication or give you surgery. I think I told you I've had knee surgery. And after I was in acute pain with my knee, and it was like anything. Okay. After a year, I was still in, I would say 80% of pain. And of course they wanted to operate again. I'm like, time out. We're not going to do that. And I sought out a holistic approach, stem cell therapy.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
I put it on Care Credit. It was the best money I ever spent.
Regenerates your cells.
Yep.
You can't go wrong with that.
Athletes have been doing it for years. It just became, I guess, legal, if you will, or approved in Houston about a year and a half ago. So, we're finally on the bandwagon. My husband was so impressed with my results that he went and had it for what he's been suffering his whole life. And that's, IBS, and has had remarkable results as well. So, yeah, the holistic approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I used to sell stem cell allografts for Icon Partners, and they after they do a surgical process, they would wrap the allograft around whatever they had to suture in and things like that for the healing process.
What's an allograft? What's an allograft? An
allograft is kind of like a flat sheath of the stem cell. It's like a Band-Aid. So after they do an appendectomy or any type of removal of an organ or just any type of surgical procedure, they would place the allograft over where they've had to cut and seal and stitch so that it would heal. And the cells would regenerate in that area, and it helped the scar tissue not formulate so excessively, and just, it just regenerates your cells. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Amazing. And I'm going to tell you, for me, I was, they wanted to do, like, the next step would be knee replacement. I'm like, no, not going to happen.
With such an amazing regenerative product, why are we not implementing that as a necessity in in our medicine? And
Nicole, I will answer that question for you. It's called this. And
yeah, again, they make more money by us being sick. It's a medical mafia.
Not curing us.
No, yeah, I agree. And I have much respect for any doctor or nurse that's out there that's helping people. I just, where we fail in our system is not educating them on integrative approach. If we did an integrative approach in everything with medicine, because sometimes we need something evasive, we would be so much better off.
It would be just the perfect world. And so, unfortunately, at this time, it's education, it's awareness. You do have other choices, but be an advocate. I did a Tuesday's chat this week about, very candid about my daughter who we've had to put into a mental hospital. And whether it's mental, physical, you need to be an advocate and not just say, well, they're doctors, they're gods, and do everything that they say. We need them. We need them to diagnose and to give their part of it. But we need to educate them on, hey, what about an integrative approach?
Well,
and
even in mental health too, if she has some kind of psychosis going on, she could very well be deficient in B12. She could be anemic in B12, you're not only just anemic in iron. There's other stuff that they could test her on. It could be that she's deficient in a mineral and a nutrient in her body, and her brain can't function right. It could very well be that. There was a girl that I worked with at the Waterway Spa, and she was deficient in B12. She said it was an anemia, and she lost her mind for a little bit. And they implemented IV transfusions of, vitamins and minerals. She went the holistic approach with it. Thank God her husband was smart enough. So I would look into that for your daughter.
I'm going to look into that, Nicole. I appreciate you saying that. My Sarah has had epilepsy since she was 2 years old. So we have a fine, we have to be careful about that. And she's been on cocktails of medication throughout her whole life. When she was about 7, I took her off epileptic medicine because she was still having seizures and she was drugged up. So, I didn't know nearly as much. I knew very little about holistic medicine back then. But that being said, I don't think it could harm to get her a panel to find out, is there some major deficiency that we could.
Are you doing any kind? I'm not a drug addict, and I don't even smoke it because it's illegal. But the cannabis is supposed to help epilepsy tremendously. Have you guys tried any type of CBD, like a higher spectrum CBD?
Yeah, she's tried CBD oil, and she said it did nothing. And it very well could be because she's on such a cocktail and right now that's what they're trying to do, is to balance the cocktails that she's on, which is about 3 different drugs, from psychotic to depression, that kind of thing. So they're trying to balance that. That could be because she did try it. That's, we were just, like praying,
might not have been strong enough.
That's what I'm thinking. Not strong enough. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many different strains of the cannabis that you need. So you need like a full spectrum. I'm going to introduce you to a girl. Her name is Marley Sledbetter. She educates doctors on the benefits of cannabis. She has her own company. Yeah. And she's had to use it in her life. She was getting seizures and things like that. And she took herself off of all the pharmaceutical drugs that they had her on because it was just making her worse. And she went more to the cannabis side, and she healed herself.
Unfortunately, my daughter wasn't a candidate because she's not one of those that has multiple you have to have like multiple seizures all the time, that kind of thing. And she never was. Even when she was younger, she would have like a major one that would basically put her out for like 12 hours, not like a 30-second seizure. She would be like in and out for hours and hours, like a major traumatic thing. So unfortunately, unless it's changed, because we've talked to her psychiatrist to say, hey, can we get medical marijuana for her? She doesn't qualify based on her condition. Yeah, at this point. I know. But we're hopeful. I feel a change, and I feel positive about the next step in getting her on on a balanced balance. But I'm very interested in having a panel by this doctor for her to just see, is there something that we're missing?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I would go see him, man. Go see him. He's amazing.
Oh, definitely. And if you're not taking notes out there, people, take notes, because this is good stuff. Okay, to bring you on.
I swear, everyone doesn't believe how old I am. They always ask me what I do. This is what I do. This is not. I am an advocate for the Somaderm. You can order that for me. All this other stuff, I'm not making anything off of anything I'm saying. I'm just trying to educate women. I want women to feel empowered. I want them to get their sexy back. You can be fit over 40. There's no reason why you have to feel tired all the time. There's no reason why you have to feel bad about yourself. Do not say, okay, I'm supposed to feel this way because I'm this age. There's too much out there that can help us sustain a good quality of life. And we should take advantage of every opportunity that we can. And it's natural, and it's good for us. It's not bad for us. And, I swear by it.
You're a living example. Now, I saw some of your pictures on Facebook. Oh my God, your body. I'm not being like sexist here, but how many hours a day do you work out, girlfriend?
I mean, I teach my classes at Spinga. So like my Monday's my 3-hour day, but I'll work out. So that's my heavy duty day. But then I only teach another class on Thursday and then 2 on Sunday. And then I'll work out in my garage 2 other days with my weights and stuff. But, it's all about, and I'm going to shout out to
you're committed to exercise. And you
it's
have
about
to make
the
it part of your life.
kinesiology of exercise.
I know that.
You have to understand
so
the fat burn reserve. The fat burn reserve and the interval training is extremely vital, especially as we get older, because if you want to spike it up and get your heart rate up high and then come back down and then get your heart rate back up high and then come back down for recovery. That's what we implement at Spinga for our spin. We're going into the intervals, into zones, and then we hit the strength and we're going into intervals there with multifaceted resistance training. What that does for your body is it helps you burn the fat for the next 36 hours, but you can't stop there. You can't just halt. So then we take you into yoga and we allow your heart rate to slowly come back down with deep stretching and a fit yoga at first. And then we go into some really deep stretching yoga positions and then complete total relaxation. You leave there feeling revitalized because you brought your hormone levels back down the way they're supposed to. If you go and exercise hardcore and then just stop, you're going to burn muscle. Your hormone levels are not going to level down back out right. It's bad for your cortisol levels. And if you have extreme amount of cortisol levels, what do? You deposit fat. So there's ways
and let's tell the
kinesiology works through working out.
Cortisol levels
through your heart. It's a stress hormone.
We're stressed. Yeah, when we're stressed. And who doesn't have stress in today's world, in life? So we're all running around with those floating cortisol levels. So let me ask you, for our viewers who maybe don't have an hour 3 times a week, who, talk a little bit about, some tricks and tips on, let's say you have 20 minutes, a day, 4 times a week, but you only have 20 minutes. How would you recommend doing?
A Tabata training. A Tabata training. Look up Tabata, Tabata. It's a 30-second, 20-second intervals with a minute recovery in between. So it lets you go into some cardio exercises, like you can do some squats, then you can do some crunches, time yourself, give yourself a minute recovery, let your heart rate come back down again, hit it again. Let your heart rate come back down again, hit it again. That's the best way to work out. And deep, deep stretching after you're done with deep breathing. The way I start my day, which is so vitally important for everybody, is meditation. You want to start your day out right, focusing on the good and reading something that's going to inspire you. I read my Bible. I read a portion of this Think, Grow, and Be Rich book to motivate me. And then I read another spiritual book. I spend about 20 minutes on it. And then I just sit there and I kind of sit there in prayer for a second. And you don't have to pray. I'm not trying to push religion on anybody, but it's so vitally important that we start our day off with some type of soul food, right? That'll set your day up for true success. I'm a true advocate. And I just want to remind everybody, for those cortisol levels, if you get anxiety and you get anxious and you get heart palpitations and you're having troubles with your nervous system, that ashwagandha that I was talking about is very, very good. It's an adaptogenic herb and it helps those levels sustain each other. So those fight and flight mechanisms where our heart just wants to race because we're anxious or nervous or excited or stressed, it'll help sustain that. And you'll notice the difference.
So, Nicole, because I know we're on a time crunch here, we're going to have it in print, but for folks watching now and who will watch this in the next hour, where could they get a hold of you or purchase this ashwagandha, let's say?
Well, the ashwagandha, they can go to any nutrition store. What they can purchase from me is the HGH gel. And that's NicoleGiddens.newulife.com. And it's NEWULIFE.com. The HGH gel is like the fountain of youth.
You can repeat that, sweetie? Nicole Giddens.
So it's my last name is Gidd as in dog ENS.newulife.com. So it's NEW, the letter U, LIFE.com. Nicole's with no H. NicoleGiddens.newulife.com. Anybody that wants to message me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. I need more followers on Instagram. Message me if it's about health and nutrition. I also am a huge advocate with assisting charities. If anybody needs assistance in hosting a charity event to raise financial contributions and donations for a charity, hit me up. I love doing stuff like that. It's what I thrive on, live for. I love giving back. So any questions?
So yeah, we have one coming up, so we'll chat about that. Say Yes to Youth for the Houston project of Worldwide Staging Week. So you and I can talk about that and maybe do something.
Yes, I would love to be a part of that.
Absolutely,
cool.
And I know you've got one coming up as well.
We've got a few.
Yeah.
So Street Grace is it's a charitable organization that helps the abduction of sex trafficking amongst children. They have a chat box named Grace, and she hits up 10,000 sexual predators at one time. This organization has saved over 200,000 children from getting abducted by sexual predators, meaning the predator was there at the location waiting for the child to be there to meet them, for them to abduct them, and instead the police are there to arrest the predator. And so it's an amazing charity. They educate the community. They educate the kids on protocol and prevention. They're great. We're doing a virtual gala on October the 29th. We also have a virtual 5K run that's posted on my Facebook. And then at Spenga at 2 locations, at our Montrose location and our Woodlands location on November 7th and November 8th, people can come pay to take a Spenga class, have a great time, and the proceeds go to the charity as well. So there's several ways.
Awesome.
We're also looking for sponsorships in the virtual gala. The virtual gala is going to be a national event. I'm hosting that with 512 Media and Sam Malone. So we're going to be all across the United States at some really luxurious locations. And we'll be B-rolling different areas all across the United States where sex trafficking is saturated, to educate our society on that this is a big problem and it needs to stop now.
It needs to stop. And as you probably know, Nicole, Houston is number 4 for sex trafficking in the country.
She pulled up a map yesterday. She pulled up a map yesterday. I couldn't believe how many there were in the Woodlands. It is insane. You're not your kids. You hold on to your kids tight.
Hold on.
Watch them on social media. Yes, you can get them off TikTok. Yes, because they're out there. They're searching for them.
And also, as I'd mentioned before, get your kids off their devices. Don't let that be their babysitter. These predators clone themselves on the very games that your kids play. You're not watching that. They pose as another child, and you don't want to know what happens after that. Okay, that's why
they'll groom them. They'll groom them for months to get them ready to meet up with them. They'll groom them for months. It's very, very scary.
They don't own the phones. You do. Take parental authority. Take parental authority. Don't let devices raise your kids, because, you know, it can be a really bad thing. Absolutely. Wow. I am so happy that I'm so happy that I met you and ran I don't ever believe that connections and people connecting is ever by chance. And Nicole and I met through on Facebook, and before I will accept a friendship, I always look at what they're about, and I went, hey, this gal's about stuff that I resonate with. We need to meet, and I'm so glad that I did meet you. Thank you so much for being on the show and sharing all of your knowledge.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. It's been my absolute pleasure. So I don't know if you need to sign off. I'm going to close with a couple of things if you're on a short, time schedule here, and just share a couple more things with our audience. And I really don't know how well, I guess I could either end the entire broadcast, or I'm not sure. Is there a button if you need to leave leave, Nicole? I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I'm sure I can just exit it off my phone. So thank you
Oh,
again,
okay.
Kat, for having me on the show. I
Oh,
appreciate it. I look forward
thank
to
you, sweetie.
looking about what we talked about. And again, NicoleGiddens.newulife.com, or come check me out at Spinga. And Kat, I'll see you Sunday.
Please do. I'll see you Sunday. I'm excited to
Thank
report
you.
all the good endorphins.
There you go.
Have a great weekend. Thank you
You
so
too,
much, Nicole.
sweetheart.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Wow.